It is February already. Can you believe that? The year is flying by. Your 2026 goals, are they underway? Or are you just shooting your regular seasonal, yearly, I'm going to do this? Have you really got to it? Because when you look at life, when you don't know how much life you have, if you don't get to it now, you may never get to it. So, whoever that's for, you need to get to it because it is now time. The time is now, and maybe you're outside of time. But this is the Chicken Box. I'm your co host, Impeccable, along with Jay Jackson. We are powered by the Afro American newspaper. I still say newspaper, but we don't consider ourselves a newspaper anymore. We're a media company, we're a tech company now. But I still have to say that just because of the history, and history is very important. 133 years, we're going on our 134th year. We're having a birthday this year, y'all. 134 years. That's an amazing achievement for any business, but
Absolutely.
especially one that empowers, informs, and educates in the people of color's community, especially with the lens coming from the DMV. Man, we're gonna be talking about some great stuff today, Jay. What's up on the? I don't want to say ballot, but what's up on the docket
On the
today?
docket. There you go.
Yeah,
So
I'm ready to vote Trump out. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back on the
no
ballot.
worries. So this week we have Beverly Oliver. Beverly Oliver is a Washington, D.C. born writer, Howard University School of Communications graduate, trained under renowned journalist Samuel F. Yet. He was also a journalist at the Afro. She began her media career at WHUR 96.3 FM, where her first feature on Dr. Sebi aired on the Sunday Digest. She later received a DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities grant to produce a radio drama, Child's Play in Salem, 1962, and contributed to several public radio projects. Beverly also worked as a production assistant on the Peabody Award-winning Smithsonian NPR documentary, Wade in the Water, African American Sacred Music Traditions. In 2005, she reunited with Dr. Sebi in Los Angeles and traveled to Honduras to help edit his memoir. That visit inspired her debut book, 7 Days in Usha Village, a conversation with Dr. Sebi, followed by numerous articles on his African biomineral balance therapy. From 2011 to 2014, Beverly helped produce WHUR's oral history roundtables, transcribing and preserving the stories of 60 veteran broadcasters for Howard University's Moreland Spingarn, which
Spengar.
her writing
That's
has
good.
also appeared in the New York Amsterdam News, Howard Magazine, and Medium. So welcome to the show, Beverly.
Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to say that it is an honor, truly an honor to be here on this historic media outlet, Afro News, formerly the Afro American newspaper. Congratulations on your 134th anniversary. That is truly a feat. And congratulations. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you, Beverly. Welcome to the Chicken Box. You are now officially in the Afro Archive. They're going to be
Thank
digital
you.
now. They used to just be a bunch of bound books. I don't know if it says you went to Howard University when you were there. If you saw in the library, they used to be bound and housed. We have now gathered all of our archives for opening of a new building in the
Wow.
next 12 months, a new headquarters in Baltimore that will store these archives. We have 3 million or more pictures that will be scanned. Once we're open, I'm sure it will be great to have you come by and just
I would
see
love
and
to
look.
see it. History is my thing. I love documenting history, and I hope you get a chance to go to Moreland Spingarn to see the WHUR oral history transcripts, because that was an honor too to bring all of these veteran broadcasters since 1971 back to Howard to talk about their role in WHUR's history. So I love history, and when I come to Baltimore and your archives is done, I would love to go and see it.
Absolutely. So let's set the table, all right? For the
Okay.
listeners meeting you for the first time, Beverly,
Okay.
you're on the bio. What drives your storytelling?
Information, truth, knowledge. When I was with Dr. Sebi, whenever I'm with him, his philosophy, his credo is be useful. Now, even before I met him, I always wanted to be useful. And I've always been driven to give people information that I feel will be helpful and useful. So that's kind of like what drives me to promote Dr. Sebi the way I promote him and talk about him on social media and in my blogs. I want to be useful because, speaking of like health, I was like Dr. Sebi. I suffered with asthma too. And I overcame that. And I decided that since I had it so much, I was so sick as a child that I was not going to take sickness with me into adulthood. And so I think that conjured up that feeling, that essence conjured up a man called Dr. Sebi. And so I overcame my asthma. Dr. Sebi overcame his asthma. And so we both want to impart that to other people, give them the information on how they too can overcome the maladies and diseases that they have. So I'm driven by information, by truth, giving people useful information. That's what drives me. Yeah.
Everybody knows somebody with asthma. I used to have
Yeah.
seasonal asthma. You know what I mean? It
Really?
was like whenever the or bronchi, whatever they said, inhaler would need to pop up from time to time. But it was only when the
Right.
pollen and the season changed, which was strange. But anyway, I have
The
two.
summertime,
I
it flared up for me in the summertime.
right. Unlike I mean, well, like you, and I know this is a little off subject, but we're talking about helping people, right? I read a book
Mm.
called Dead Doctors Don't Lie by Dr. Wallach, and he was a naturopath. And I thought I had an allergy problem, but I had a digestion problem.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I switched a
Okay.
couple things. So instead of taking a Zyrtec or Allegra D every day, it was gone. And I mean, and it can be like you can see the green on the cars now during the springtime, and I don't see a
Mhm.
bit of my eyes on it. It's nothing's happening. I was like, wow. So
Okay. Okay.
I'm with you 1,000% on a natural healing of what's out there. Because big
Okay.
pharma,
Okay.
they trying to treat you. They're not trying to cure you at all.
Okay. Right. And Dr. Sebi wants to counter all of that. I guess
Hmm.
if you were to put him in a box, you could say, you tried all the rest. Now let's try the best. If I
Right.
were to put him in a nutshell,
Well,
you tried all of that. Now let's try this. It's not easy to get people to try Dr. Sebi's method of healing, but once you do the research, once you come to him and talk to him or talk to his consultants, you'll find that he's got an effective product. He really does. His African bio mineral balance therapy is highly effective, and I would recommend that to anyone. And it's all in the book, and we talk about his methodology in the book. You get a firsthand view, an up close, in depth view of Dr. Sebi's methodology. And I'd like to say that one of my favorite chapters in the book, which I feel will really help people see Dr. Sebi firsthand, is Dr. Sebi shared more that week in Honduras, his methodology. And that's on page 143. And that chapter is just chock full of information about how Dr. Sebi does what he does.
Beverly, thank you. Jay, jump in because guys, if you just tuned in, we're revisiting Dr. Sebi. And we also have Beverly Oliver, the author, who just showed that wonderful book that if you don't have it, you need to get it because you know what you know until you know something else, right? And so you think you're
Right,
gonna keep taking that Robitussin for that cold, and wonder why
right,
you still hacking 2 weeks. Anyway,
right.
Jay, jump in, my brother.
Okay, so my question to you is for folks who are not familiar with Dr. Sebi, um,
Okay.
what what are the core tenets of what he taught as far as diet and that sort of being a path to sort of natural healing?
Right. Well, Dr. Sebi's tenet is that there is a food disease connection,
Sure.
right? He always felt that if you want to know the origins of the lupus that you have, the autoimmune disease that you have, the sickle cell anemia that you have, and the cancer that you have, look at your plate. What are you eating constantly on a regular basis? So his main philosophy, his main tenet is that there is a food disease connection. And you can start there in terms of getting a hold of or getting a grasp or changing the diseases that you have. Dr. Sebi never felt that diseases are incurable. He always felt that the source of the disease is the mucus. And so if you can get rid of the mucus in your system that's invading your body, you can, in fact, cure yourself. Because he felt that there's no such thing as an incurable disease, because he has cured people of all the diseases that conventional wisdom says are not curable.
Okay. So his time at Usha Village. Why Usha Village? What brought him there, and why did you feel that you wanted to, because you accompanied him during
I
this time?
did. I was invited there.
Okay. What drew him to Usha Village, and what drew you there as well? I mean,
Okay,
besides the invitation, but why did you feel you needed to be there at that time?
Okay, I'll begin by saying this. This is how I wanted to start, but I can just jump in right now and say it.
Sure.
That 7 days in Usha Village, a conversation with Dr. Sebi 20 years later, is a commemoration of my journey to Usha Village back in 2005. It's a celebration of that. It's the 20th anniversary of that sojourn to Dr. Sebi's healing center, Usha. He wanted to have a place where people can come and release all the toxins, release all the diseases in their body. So he bought property in his home country, Honduras. La Ceiba, Honduras is where the Usha Village Healing Center is. And so this book is a milestone about that journey, but it is also a reference book. It is a tool for people to use and look firsthand and up close at how Dr. Sebi cures disease. It shows you how and why Dr. Sebi was a master herbalist. He was a master natural healer. And I use the word was gently when I say was a master healer or was a master herbalist. Why? Why do I say was? I say that because Dr. Sebi is still pretty much a part of the socio-cultural landscape today. Why do I say that? And what evidence do I have that he's still very much a part of us? Not physically, but he's still with us in our conversations that you and I are having today. Dr. Sebi's legacy continues. When people go to buy products from the companies that bear his name, like Sebi's Daughters LLC, or the Fig Tree, which is his first company, and that's still in Brooklyn, New York. When you buy products, when you go for consultations at those companies, you keep Dr. Sebi's legacy alive, right? So he's very much a part of our sociocultural landscape. He's still here. And I would say that if you go to the book and you read that chapter on Usha Village, you'll see the crux of Dr. Sebi. You'll see why he created Usha Village. Usha is the name of his daughter. Usha Village, of course, is named after his daughter, too. The Usha Herbal Research Institute that he created, which is also mentioned in the book, is named after his daughter. Okay, so I think this is a good part.
Well, before that, where can we get the book?
Where can you get the book? Barnes & Noble has it, if it's okay for me to say that. Okay, it's available at your favorite bookstore. If it's sold out on the bookshelf, if you can't get it on the bookshelf, they will order it for you. So you can order the book. Go to your favorite bookstore. I know I said the B and N word, but
no, it's all right. Is it on Amazon?
I'm sorry?
You have it on Amazon or Apple Books?
I tell you, Impeccable, it's not on Amazon just yet, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
We want to give the bricks and mortar stores first dibs on the book. We really should support our bookstores, just like we should support our newspapers too. I know the Washington Post, that was so sad to hear that so many thousands of reporters are being laid off at the Washington Post. And so they're going to have a rally, and that's really good to keep the Washington Post alive. Hopefully that works. But we want to give first dibs to the bookstores, the bricks and mortars bookstores, so they can get the book, so they have it first. It will be
Okay.
on Amazon. It'll be on Amazon later because I know that's a convenience for a lot of people. It really and truly is. My first books are on Amazon right now, but this one book, we really want the bookstores to have it. And like I said, if it's not on the shelf, please just go to the counter and say, "Can you order it for me?" And they can do that lickety split.
Gotcha. So it's no website, your own website that you can get the book. I'm just trying to see
You can,
because
you can,
we have a global audience, and everybody
yes.
can't get
Well,
everywhere.
what
So
you can do is go to your favorite bookstore because they have an online catalog as well. And so if you want to order it that way, you can go online and order it and they will send it to you as well. But
okay,
in terms of the international global audience, it'll be on Amazon within a month or two. You'll be able to buy it
okay,
then. But go on and order the the print book as soon as you can because that will be a good source to have to pick up from your nightstand and say, I've got some congestion here. What does Dr. Sebi say about all this mucus that's in my system? So you can grab the book, and start reading that chapter that begins on page 143. Dr. Sebi shared more that week in Honduras, his methodology, and that's a gem of a chapter. Is just chock full of information about why and how Dr. Sebi does what he does.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I found it right for anybody listening who wants to go right on Barnes and Noble's website. I found the link. So I'll try to put it into the chat to make it easy for you guys.
Thank you,
Um,
Impeccable. I appreciate that.
to
Thank
get it.
you.
I mean, because it's so many people who would love to feel better, and
Okay.
sometimes you've tried everything and you've been treated for everything, and you're on all these medications with all these side effects that
Right.
really aren't curing anything. It's just masking the problem or creating another problem because the drug might
Right.
make you feel better over here, but then it's doing something over here. So it's like,
The,
how
the
do we
side
get the
effects.
information? Right. Because you've
Right.
tried everything. Like I used to say back in the day, you try God for 30 days. If you don't like him, you can get him back. But I mean, you can try it your way so many times that you bumping your head on
Right.
life instead of, fulfilling your purpose and really feeling vibrant and your energy is up and your grateful mindset and spirit that you wake up with. But when
Right.
something hurts or when something ails, so guys, I'm gonna put this in the let me see. I'll put it in the chat and you can order it. Uh you can go right there and it can get delivered to your house, the physical copy, because I believe it's something in there that's going to help
But
everybody
again,
pretty.
you can go online, do an online catalog because the bricks and mortar stores, they have catalogs. And so if you don't see it inside the store when you go there, you can just order it from their online catalog as well. So it's there also. Okay.
Absolutely. I want to make sure that we could get to it. Man, you're watching the Chicken Box. We have Oliver Beverly, who's been really revisited Dr. Sebi's work. Am I saying it right?
What's that?
Sebi, Dr. Sebi? Yeah.
Sebi, Dr. Sebi. Yes.
Dr.
Sebi.
Sebi's work. Right.
Yeah, it's
And so
good.
let
Very
me ask
good.
you a question. I mean, we've seen him online through social media clips. You had a chance to be with him. Who was he when he wasn't on camera? Who was Dr. Sebi like beyond the camera?
Dr. Sebi, he's fiery and emblazoned online. When you see him in public lectures, you're right about that. But Dr. Sebi had a great sense of humor. Even when it came to food and disease, he had a great sense of humor when he imparted stories like the Planet Cop. He has a story about the Planet Cop. I can't do justice with his stories about the Planet Cop, but he had a story about how the Planet Cop comes into the garden and he sniffs out all of the things that shouldn't be there. So he has a great sense of humor. And in an interview with his daughter Jamila said that one of his favorite cartoons was Pinky and the Brain.
Hmm.
Are you
The
familiar with that
Animaniacs?
cartoon? Huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
from the Animaniacs.
Good.
From the
Uh,
Animaniacs.
yes.
Yeah, so that was one of his favorite cartoons, Jamila said. So that's a side of Dr. Sebi that you normally don't hear or see, liking that cartoon. So he was great about that. And Dr. Sebi was undeniably a smoker of herbs, of marijuana. Okay.
Okay.
He did a lot. He did a lot of that when I was with him. And he was unapologetically a smoker, a user of marijuana. He touted that, right? So he used that a lot when we were at Usha Village. You know, it's not something that he talks about in his speeches or public speeches or anything like that. But if you were to ask him, he's very transparent, very transparent. If you were to ask him about smoking marijuana, well, Dr. Sebi, why do you smoke marijuana? Why do you smoke that herbs? He will tell you that it's God made. It's a God made plant. And I don't want to go in depth about his smoking marijuana, but that's just one aspect. That's just something I saw. And also plants. When I was with him, we would be driving along Honduras in La Ceiba, and Dr. Sebi would see a plant that caught his eye out in the field. He would stop his car, jump out, put it in park, and go and inspect a plant that he saw over in this field. Cars behind him, cars in front, didn't matter. It did not matter. He would go over and inspect that plant to see what it was. That was him. He is obsessed with plants. He has a beautiful, beautiful village. If you get a chance to go to Honduras and see his healing center, that would be a treat. It's so beautiful now. The last time I was there was in 2008, but his family, they have upgraded it so much. It would be well worth your trip to go there. If it's not about healing, just go and just experience it for the first time, because on his property is a natural hot spring. If you want to go and get in that hot spring, which is behind the property, that will be a treat within itself. The sauna has the water coming in from the hot spring that feeds all of the huts that are there. It feeds his glass house that he built. He was an architect. Dr. Sebi was a builder. Let me say that too. That was something that a lot of people don't know with Dr. Sebi. He was a master builder. He built a circular glass house, and that property is on his land at Usha Village. And so that's some of the things that there you go. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. That's Usha Village. It's beautiful. And that canal going down the middle of the huts right down there in the middle, that is a canal that has water coming from the hot spring that's over on the other side of those trees. Yeah, so it's
Mm,
just beautiful. Yeah. So if you get a chance to go take a vacation, go and check it out. It'll be well worth your visit.
absolutely, guys. We are getting a little history lesson today, right here on the Chicken Box, powered by the Afro News. Do us a favor. If you have not subscribed, go to afro.com right now. And for less than, well, I don't know, I don't even want to give them any more play, but for less than a meal, for less than
That
$40,
you
you can have
order on your phone.
that you order on your
Right.
phone. I
Your
like
phone.
that, Jay.
Right.
For less than a meal that you order on your phone, you can have the Afro digitally delivered right to your door. And if you still like the physical copy, we have that available to you. We're going to bring great stories, great storytellers, and great information that sometimes others will overlook, but we will
Right.
always have a chance to highlight. And it's because of you. It's because you supported us for over the years. So find it not robbery to support the Black press, Black media, so that we can tell these
Yeah.
beautiful Black stories. And that is not a shameless plug. Matter of fact,
Right.
I'm going to call ourselves the plug from now on. So, Jay,
Right.
jump in, man. This story is getting good. I'm feeling, my mind is feeling healy already. It's not placebo. It is not placebo either, people. I'm feeling good.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Well, you know,
So,
oh, go ahead, Jay.
oh, sorry about that. No, what I was going to say is Dr. Sebi's diet was largely a vegan diet. Is that correct? Am I categorizing that correct?
Vegan, I would say vegetarian. Vegan is no dairy. Is that right? Vegan is no
Yeah,
dairy.
no byproducts of animals whatsoever.
No byproducts of animals. That's vegan. Yeah, that's Dr. Sebi, and a vegetarian diet too. He just touted that. He just advocated for that kind of diet, an alkaline diet. Alkaline meaning the food is 7.0 or higher on the pH scale, which makes it
Yeah.
alkaline. because if you're on a pH scale, which is a potential of hydrogen, if food is below 7.0, then it's on the acid side of the pH scale. And Dr. Sebi does not recommend you eat foods that are on the acid side. And please let me say this, and I know this is probably going to be a bone of contention about foods that are on the acid side. Garlic has a pH rating of 2.93.0. Dr. Sebi does not recommend garlic in any shape, form, or fashion because it's highly toxic, because it's highly acidic, and because it's so low on the pH scale that that's not something you want to eat all the time. But I know cultures around the world swear by garlic. I know that's a part of a lot of.
I don't know about in the Black community, but maybe they do. Do they?
Say that
Sebi, are
again.
you?
Uh,
But I don't know about in the
yeah,
Black community. Swear by it, but are you swear by garlic, Jay?
I had garlic last night. Yeah,
Oh, you
I mean,
did?
garlic is,
I mean, but would
yes.
you swear by it? Is my question.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
there is. I mean, my father-in-law was a thoracic surgeon, so I mean, garlic and onion are really, really good, heart healthy vegetables. But whatever, it's okay. So I mean, I guess my question is, I think that there is a massive benefit to sort of a more vegetable based diet. I would definitely not disagree with that. I think that's
Okay.
good. Um, I think a lot of I think just I often think about historic aspects of how like we are affected today, right? Sort of systemic, systemic situations. And I know
Yeah.
for Black folks, a lot of our diet is there are a lot of holdovers from slavery. Like that is
Yeah,
just fundamentally that's true, right? We were given
true.
these were the worst foods possible, and we had to make lemon out of lemonade, lemonade out of
Sure.
lemons, so to speak.
Lemons, yeah. Hmm.
And I think this idea of promoting a less animal product diet and more fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that, I think are great. I think fundamentally it is impossible. I think it is impossible to argue that this will not make you feel better, especially people who are eating a lot of processed foods and things like that.
Right.
Do you find that when you kind of bring these messages, I mean, through your book or just your sort of when you're just talking about Dr. Sebi, do you find that
Yeah.
people are maybe a little resistant because they haven't had
Yes.
these types of
I've had
before?
I've experienced the pushback. I really have. And so is Dr. Sebi. There's a
Sure.
line in one of the books where Dr. Sebi says, when you talk about that thing called food and how to help people, you're going to find yourself the enemy of everyone, right? Because you're talking about a lifestyle, really. You're talking about
Right.
changing generations and generations of food ways, right? So Dr. Sebi realizes that, and he has experienced the pushback and the resistance from people in terms of him telling them the benefits of changing your diet. Now, he will tell you, don't do it cold turkey. Don't stop eating these foods cold turkey. But if you make a gradual change from mucus causing foods to more plant based foods, that will help you stay on the journey to a plant based diet. Don't do a cold turkey because he says this. He's not naive to think that just because he tells you to stop eating meat, that you're going to stop eating meat. But here's the thing here's the percentages. He feels that if you eat 80%, and that's conventional wisdom, if you eat 80% more plant-based foods, okay, healthy grains, healthy nuts, fruits and vegetables, 80% most of the time, well, that 20% comfort food is going to be okay. It's not going to hurt you when you decide to go
Sure.
and eat your ice cream. It's not going to hurt you if you decide to go and eat your ribs, your short ribs, or your brisket, right? And
Thank
your
you.
cornbord, right?
I'm
Well,
getting
this
So
hungry
that,
this
this is
month.
good information for
say
us
that
to know.
again.
I said I'm
This
getting
is
Say
good
that
so
again.
information for us.
I said
Yeah.
I'm getting
So,
hungry, Beverly.
oh yeah. So Dr. Sebi says if you just eat 80%, if you switch the paradigm, just switch the percentages, because right now most of us are eating 80% comfort food, right? And just 20% every now and then a salad. 20% healthy foods. So he feels that the paradigm has to shift. You have to change that around and eat more 80% comfort food, fortify your body, strengthen your immune system so that when you go to eat that comfort food, you're okay. It's not going to build up or start a disease in your body because you have strengthened your body with the foods that support your immune system that will ward off the disease that mucus generating foods will bring. He's not naive to think that you're going to just stop eating these foods. Just make the gradual change.
I get it. I mean, a lot of people don't want to change. I ran into a naturopath, that same doctor, and he said he'd rather smoke a cigarette every day
Oh,
than eat fried food. And I said, "Say what?"
wow.
Wow. And so
Thanks.
part of
That's a
my
wild
listen, part of getting rid of part of getting rid of my Jay, this is a true story. I took a Allegra D just about when that season started all the way through the summer for like years. When I cut back on fried food almost completely and cut back gluten, I did
Right.
not need the allergy medicine anymore. So,
Okay.
but when you ask especially a black person to give up fried chicken, they looking at you like, man,
Or ribs. Their
I'm
ribs.
not giving up fried nothing. But you got the air fryer. You could grill it. You could cook it. You could
Right.
boil it. You could bake
Right.
it.
Right.
Fried is just only one way. But they like, I'm going to Popeyes, Kevin. So
Right. But impeccable, there is a way to continue to eat these foods that we have been eating traditionally, just alter the seasoning, just alter the ingredients. Because there are countless recipes online that you can go to and books too, where instead of having fried chicken, how about some fried oyster mushrooms, right? And so if
That's
you season your fried oyster mushrooms the same way the fried chicken is seasoned, boy, that's a great way to transition from meat to a plant-based diet. Another one, lion's mane mushroom. Lion's mane mushroom. You know what it tastes like? Crab meat. When you use lion's mane mushroom in your crab meat, your crab cake recipe, you think you were eating a traditional crab cake made out of crabs. But it's the
get out of
seasoning
here.
and that ingredient, lion's mane mushroom. When you mix it up in your ingredients and make your crab cakes, you've got your crab cakes, but only it's not the crab, it's the lion's mane mushroom that's in the crab cake. So there are ways. So what am I trying to say? My point is that there is a way to make a transition from meat-based foods to plant-based foods. It's the seasoning, because wouldn't you agree that oftentimes it's the seasoning that pulls us in, especially when you drive past, like out here, like In-N-Out Burger. We have In-N-Out Burger. That's a popular hamburger place out here in California. You can drive by there. You can be like 3 blocks away, and you will smell the caramelized onions 3 or 4 blocks away. And I'm always saying when I drive past onions, it smells so good. And so it's the seasoning, it's the smell that pulls you in. That's why they call it comfort food, because it appeals to all of your senses. The food looks good, it tastes good, it smells good, it feels good, it appeals to our 5 senses. It's comfortable, right? That's the comfort food. That's
It
what
don't
comfort
feel
food
good
does.
afterwards because you might be comfortable in the bathroom right after you eat that. Anyway, anyway, Claire is locking in with you. Claire Powers, thank you for sharing. She said it is like crab meat. She's tracking everything you're saying. She also goes on to say, what do you say, Claire? I'm Latuka Sue, and I believe in plant. She believes in plant medicine and ceremonious tobacco.
Tobacco.
Okay, is that what we calling it now? I like that. That's the new name. Ceremonious tobacco.
uh,
And yeah,
Okay.
and she says, yeah, cut back on. Listen, if people really knew, and I'm not trying to scare people, because if people really knew what gluten did to you and what it
Yeah.
really was, it would
Yeah.
put the whole world in a panic. That's why they just gently put it on the menu with a little star at the bottom, gluten
Right.
free. They
Gluten
do
free.
not
Right.
want to put people into a shock about really the effects that gluten has on your body.
Right,
And that's
right.
you know
And
how
the
it
thing,
is. They selling people, they selling drugs, they selling food. They you know, and at the risk of us staying unhealthy. You know what I mean? They're betting
right,
on that. You don't. Let me tell you. I'm gonna give you a secret. USA's people who are watching from America. You're not finding Popeyes in your upper class white neighborhoods.
right.
Have you ever
Or
thought about that?
Bojangles.
Or Bojangles? None of them.
Okay.
You might find a
Yeah.
KFC, which
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
on the way out. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, you're not seeing those kind of places. But in the hood, in our communities, they gonna be there.
Of
It's
course.
Right. And I
anyway.
think and I
I
think that's one of the
digress.
and I think that's no, you're not digressing because you're saying everything that creates this person called a Dr. Sebi. He has come to address all of that. He has come to address the origins of the disease. He has come to address foods that we can eat instead of those foods that for generations have been making us sick. You hear some people in our community say, well, my aunt is 92 years old and she's been eating, what are some of the foods? Biscuits and cornbread and fried chicken and all these foods all her life, and she's still with us. Yeah, well, I can say the same thing about my grand aunt who lived to be, I think Aunt Dorothy lived to be like 86 or 87 years old. But you know what? She ate those foods and she had constant migraine headaches. She lived with migraine headaches. And not only that, she had a cyst on the side of her arm that was the size of almost a baseball. She lived with that because she's from that generation of Black folks where you don't go cutting on these folks. No surgery. They don't believe in cutting open the body. And so my grand aunt was that kind of person. She just took her stand back aspirin. I don't know if you all recall those days when aspirin was really in a chewing gum type wrapper, and you could open it up and just take it down straight, no chaser. And that's what my aunt did. She would just take her stand back or whatever the aspirin of the day was and keep going. She was a businesswoman in South Carolina, in Sumter, South Carolina. And she just lived with the pain. It was like, okay, no problem. Just give me my stand back, take it down, let me go. And she did
Hmm.
not have, I'm sorry,
No, I'm just saying that's crazy.
and
That's
she did
crazy.
not have, and she did not have that cyst. It was a cyst, a huge cyst removed from her arm. She just lived with it. And so what am I trying to say is I'm saying that, yeah, you've been eating this way for generations, but are you really healthy? Are you just used to the pain? Are you just used to having the diabetes? There's a way to get rid of it. And Dr. Sebi comes to say, hey, you don't have to live like this anymore because there was a time when we were healthy. We didn't have the maladies that we have today. And this is kind of like a point in the interview where I would like to talk about the statistics because I was looking at the statistics for African American Black health last night. And did you know that 65% of Black children in the United States have asthma? 14% die from asthma. Only 14%. I thought
Mm.
that was good. 65% of children in the United States have asthma, right?
Wow.
And we're only 39 million people in the United States, right? Only 39 million, yet we have 65% more children than any other race with asthma and other maladies as well. And and I think it's like 55%. What is the other statistics?
All of it is too high.
It's high. We're at the top of it. We're at the top of every list of bad health that you can think of. In 2022, Black or African American women were 54% more likely than women of other races to be diagnosed with stomach cancer and 85% more likely to die from uterine cancer
Mm.
than any other
Man,
race
we
of women. And
man, we
so,
dropping gem. We dropping gems, guys. You got to check how you living, how you eating, and the information is now being pulled to the. They try to hide this information
right,
So
from. from everybody. So Jay, jump in. Jump in.
So there is one thing I want to add to that, and Beverly, you make a very good point about those numbers being very high, especially in the African American community. There's been a number of studies, which I think is something maybe people are not quite aware of, which is comparing people who don't eat well, right? More processed foods and that sort of thing, and don't move very much, right? Don't exercise or anything. Then
Right.
comparing those people to people who eat very well, more plant-based, healthier, less processed foods, but don't move very well,
Okay.
very much, and then people who eat very well and move, and then people who eat poorly and move. And one of
Okay.
the things that they found is, to your point, people who eat very well, but don't do a lot of exercise are actually also not in as great a shape, or not even in shape, but health-wise, ultimately, as the people who eat poorly and exercise. I think the ultimate goal is what you're talking about, which is this great diet, or a more restrictive diet that keeps you away from all these processed foods and more plant-based and stuff like that, but also coupling that with exercise, which is a thing that I think a lot of
Yes.
people in our community do not do.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
it's great to eat well, and I think that's super
Right.
positive and everything else. And it's even great to exercise. People like going to the gym and stuff like that. But you
Right.
gotta put both of those things together to really see massive benefits, because I mean, we are, as a people, we are suffering. And I
Right.
also think I think we would be remiss not to mention that we don't have as easy access to healthcare either, as a community, right? Just for
Okay.
preventative healthcare, as far as you just go to the doctors and be like, how are things going? Because you don't know how things are going. It may feel like things are okay. You may
Right.
feel like everything's fine, but until you do those blood tests and stuff like that, at least once a year, to go to somebody to go, hey, your blood pressure might be a little high, or your vitamin D might be low, which is a thing that Black people suffer from because of our skin tone. Um,
Okay.
I think combining those things of eating and moving, I think, are really two of our biggest tools. And so
Okay.
I don't want to just not mention that, but I agree with you. I think eating in a healthy way is really good, but it is
Yeah.
also incredibly beneficial to also get up, take a
To move.
walk.
To
Yeah,
move. To move. And drink lots of water. Dr. Sebi was
100%.
a staunch advocate of water. You have to drink your water. He always had a gallon of water beside his night table when I was with him in Honduras. And all there you go. There you go. Yay. Yay,
Yeah.
Jay. Fantastic. Drink lots and lots of water, because that water will flush that mucus out. If you don't change your diet at all, if what I'm saying is a mute point, please do this. Do this one thing for yourself. Drink lots of water, because that water will flush out all of the mucus that that food you eat generates, right? So if you continue to eat the cornbread and the biscuits, right, and the gravy and the mashed potatoes,
Beverly, you
gravy,
could really make some food sound good. Maybe I'm just hungry. You start talking about biscuits and cornbread, gravy. Go
cornbread,
ahead,
mashed
Beverly.
potato.
Go ahead.
just,
Stop. Okay, go ahead.
just
Yeah,
what they
let me
have.
drink my water and go
Yes.
ahead. Keep talking. Okay.
Just flush it. Please flush it with water. Just chase it with water, because you don't want that mucus to walk right in, sit right down. You don't want it to do that. You want to flush it out, because if you don't flush it out, if you don't keep tabs on the mucus, what's going to happen? It's going to turn into fibroid tumors, the
Mm,
cysts. It's going to turn into prostate cancer.
Lord have
If you
mercy.
don't flush out that mucus with a lot of water, it's going to turn into a solidified gout, kidney stones, right? It's going to turn into lung cancer. So flush it out, flush that water out. If you're going to continue to eat those foods, drink as much water as you possibly can. And at this point, is it possible for me to just read a little passage from the book about what Dr. Sebi?
Let's read a little passage. We're coming to the end. I mean, this information is
Okay. Okay. How
fantastic.
much
It's so
time do I
important.
have? How much time do I have? A couple minutes?
All
It's not
right.
going to be long.
All
It's
right.
just a
Well, you
couple
got a couple
paragraphs.
minutes. Go
Okay,
ahead.
great.
Tell
Okay,
them what
on
book you're
page,
reading for in case they just popped in.
I'm reading
All
from
right.
this book, 7 Days in Usha Village, a conversation with Dr. Sebi 20 years later.
All right.
And
Perfect.
on page 146, this is what Dr. Sebi says. People come to me with leukemia. They say, Dr. Sebi, the doctor said that my child will die with leukemia. What can you offer that the physician did not offer? I tell them that all I have to offer is a nutritional approach to disease. We begin by cleansing away the toxins that are invading the whole biology. Next, we afford the body the food that will replenish the cells that have been damaged by the presence of toxic waste. Now, time, I want to take my time in explaining what I just said. The intracellular chelation and the African biomineral balance therapy are designed to replenish the cells that have suffered more than others. For instance, when someone comes to us with a disease such as diabetes, our approach is unlike the previous healthcare service they received. We know that diabetes, like any other disease, begins in the colon. So we began by cleansing the mouth, esophagus, stomach, and duodenum, the small intestines, then the large intestines. We have put compounds together that address the cleansing of the digestive system, substances such as the balm of Gilead. And in parentheses, I have that's called balsam popular. That's the name of that herb. Cascara sagrada, ambrosia. So these are all the herbs that Dr. Sebi, some of the herbs that Dr. Sebi uses in his African biomineral balance therapy. And you can find more about how he treats disease and the herbs that he uses in that chapter on page 143.
Absolutely. 146, 143. Read the book. It's not just a story, guys. It is the manual.
Yes.
And listen, if you're still suffering, there's some people who haven't been to the doctor in 3 to 5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm definitely talking to my black men out there. I don't know about the ladies.
Yeah.
They're usually ahead of us, fellas. They usually do better at
Okay.
going to the doctors. But as a whole, the black men, they're not going on a regular. And
Right.
until the
Right.
check engine light is on, fellas, everything it's yellow. You still ain't pulled into the shop to see what's going on. Listen, it's
Right.
better to get it dealt with now before you wake up and your toes green or something. You be like, what happened? Yeah, you
Right.
ignored that little pain on
Right.
your toe every day for all these years, and you don't know what you have. And then once you hear the trained medical community, which I don't shoot down at all because they're trained and they know what they know
Right. Right.
until they
True.
know
True.
different, unless they're on the
Right.
payroll of big pharma. They know what they know until they know different, right?
Right.
And then at that point, you have to decide if you want to listen, because they say they're practicing medicine. So that don't mean that they've always got it exactly right. When you start practicing how to shoot a basketball, you're gonna miss a few times. So, the practice of medicine is different. And I think Jerry and Claire said something. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and anybody else who's watching this at a later time. You're not sure until it happens. And Beverly, you know, because you had asthma, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And through an alternative way, you figured it out that it's now not here with you because you made some changes.
Right. I had
And
the cyst too. The cyst. Yeah. Asthma,
right.
cyst, fibroid
Oh, you had the
tumors.
sisters, what? Right,
Yes.
because yes, a
Yeah.
lot of fibroids in women in the black community
Of
and
course.
people
Yes.
of color. And
Yeah.
and that and that comes from is that you saying that comes from the food too that we
Of
eat?
course, because that's a mucus, because we're eating food that's heavily mucus. And if you're not
Right.
washing that mucus out, it just finds itself a place to live in your
Mm,
body. It may live, that mucus may live in your breast. It may live in your uterus. It may live in your lungs. So if you're not flushing it out, if you're not drinking water every day, then it's going to find a place to walk right in, sit right down. And I say that because there's a song that I think it's called Peter, Paul, and Mary they had a song back in the 60s called Walk Right In, Sit Right Down, and so
I remember them. Not the song, but I remember Peter, Paul, and Mary. But anyway,
yeah, yeah. So you
anyway,
don't want that,
listen,
you don't want that
listen. We
mucus
got
to
it. We
walk right.
if you don't do anything besides share this information, and you can't figure out how to go to the gym, do a push-up, stretch, walk, go for a walk, you better pick that water up and get to
Yes.
drinking. You
Yeah.
think, you want to have a soda with the meal and all that. You listen,
Drink water, drink and
do
walk,
yourself do yourself
Yes.
justice, and you're gonna make your joints feel better. Do me a favor. Go to Google or whatever your favorite search engine is and put in the benefits of water. You're going to see so many things that happen and come down on that list. If you just start with
I would just like to point out, this is not soda. This is actually seltzer water, as you guys are talking about. This is one.
Listen,
I was wondering.
No, I don't
Listen,
actually drink soda very often.
listen, you got one chance at this, and then you got to figure out how you want to feel every day. So, man, this has been a great conversation. We could go on for days. Beverly Oliver, your book
I enjoyed it.
Amazing.
Thank
I can't wait to order it. I have the link. If you just tuned in, I put the link in the chat. You can go order it or go by your favorite bookstore. Take a journey down to a bookstore for those that still exist and support
I'll send you
local.
one. I'll send you one. I'll get your address from Asia.
I'm gonna buy it. I don't want to send. Don't send me
Thank
anything. Some people always want the hookup. I don't want the hookup. If you do excellent and you're in the Black community, I'm paying. I will pay the full price, but don't be jive. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not talking to you, Beverly. I'm just saying, if you say you're going to do the work, you know what I mean? I prefer that you be excellent and happen to be Black. Anyway, that's for somebody else. So I'm gonna pay full price.
Thank you.
I'm always gonna pay full price because you put time and effort. You traveled, you worked, you went to Usha Village, you did the things to bring the information. What we can at least do is, pay the price for the information. And that information, if $20 helped you get rid of asthma, people, listen, you better buy 7 books and give them to all your family so that they can get better.
Thank you for the plug.
This is the part where you get on the box. I'm glad you came by, Beverly. I'm glad you shared some information.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Information is power, people. You know what you know until you know something else. And then once you know that, you have to do it. That's because you know the information or heard it. If you don't apply it, you might as well not have learned it. And I'm going to get off the box with that. Jay, you're on the box, brother.
Okay. So again, Beverly, thank you for coming. That was really great. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Look, I think this message of clean eating or cleaner, if you want to slow roll it, right? You don't want to just do, like overnight, like you were saying. I think is a great message. I think it is. I think it is surely needed, especially in our community. I think overall, I think it's needed. But I think especially in the Black community, the idea of eating better. Again, I think we suffer so much from the trauma that we have endured because of slavery, and those things just kind of get passed down, and we keep doing this, these things, and sometimes we forget why we do them, right? So I think it is a good idea to kind of look at, take a step back and look and say, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, or maybe we can do this a different way. You can still have those same flavors and things like that, but maybe we can do it in a different way. Look, I love fried oyster mushrooms. I think they're great. So
really? Congratulations.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I think that message is great. And like no notes. I do want to say one thing, and this is for my co-host, which when you mentioned this, I couldn't help but think about this little anecdote. You mentioned the allergies thing, right? And this is kind of a funny story that maybe a lot of people don't know. There's something called biotanical sexism, and we clone male trees in the United States and all over the world. They clone male trees because they don't produce fruit, right? So like when you line a street with trees, you don't want a bunch of apples falling everywhere, right? It makes sense.
Okay.
Because of that, in the US, we don't do as many female trees, and they don't produce as much pollen. and they pull pollen out of the air from male trees, which is why allergies in the United States have gotten worse over the last couple of decades.
Wow.
So just a little
Thank
bit of
you
like
for that
science note.
information.
Well, there
Okay.
you go, female tree. I'm just like, hey, girl, you know, you speak to the tree.
So that's literally the reason why. So there's a
Right.
little science there. But so thank you. That I'm off the box, Beverly.
Beverly, you're
we'll
now
let you,
officially on the chicken box. You have the last words here.
Well, thank you so much again for having me, for giving me an opportunity to talk about Dr. Sebi and also to talk about the book. And I know I got a little impassioned there a few minutes back talking about the statistics and talking about what's happening in our community health-wise. And that's because I feel so strongly about the high statistics in our community. When we can live better, we can feel better. If you want a way out of the sickness, if you want a way out of the generational maladies, give Dr. Sebi and his companies a try. Check it out because you'll find some benefits there. He really is beneficial. And that's why I talk so much about him and tout him, because I know that his African biomineral balance therapy, it works. It's highly effective. And if more people knew about it, they would also be supportive of it and be proteges of Dr. Sebi. So thanks again for having me. I love you all for giving me a chance to help people get off that health bandwagon. Let's lower the statistics, okay?
7 days in Usha Village. Go pick your book up right now. The $20, $22, whatever it is, $25. It could be worth $50,000 if you feel better. You know, people
Okay.
will say,
there you go.
they'll complain about something, but let that cable or that phone bill get cut off. They'll find the money to get that new cell phone or that. Anyway, spend some money on yourself. Spend some money on yourself so you can be present for your family. And remember, call a senior. They are looking forward to hearing from you. They're looking forward from you stopping by. They're looking forward for you to do a random act of kindness. They did it for you when you was running around the yard or you was at the house driving them crazy for a minute when mama dropped you off. But call a senior and tell them you're thinking about them and you love them. Anyway, until we meet again, thanks everybody, Claire, Jerry, everybody who decided to comment and everybody who's thinking about making a change in their health. Let's get that water drinking. If you can't do anything else, the book will be on Amazon, Jerry, in about 2 months. They're giving it to the physical stores first to have a chance to sell it before it goes global. But I put the link that you can buy it from Barnes & Noble right at the top of the thread when you go back and watch it. So until next week, God willing, we'll see you again. Beverly Oliver, Jay Jackson, and Dr. Draper, the CEO of the Afro. We missed you today. God willing, we'll see you again. Have a great day, everybody.
You too.